What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. But one thing we can't let go, though, is the things that's going on with this White Rabbit stuff.
I keep thinking you about to say this white rapper.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
So, me and Pryor had this conversation when they first started doing this White Rabbit craze, right? And Pryor was just like, you know...
It was Carlos Colon.
Carlos Colon, okay.
Yeah.
His forehead looks atrocious.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's from wrestling, to be honest, but, you know.
I think it might be. But go ahead.
I'm going to say he was in the cartels. And
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So with this...
He's one of the ones that covered up that Brody. All right. Anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
When they had people was in what was it, a Raw taping or something like that, where they had the White Rabbit theme playing with like the red ambiance. It was not shown on TV. You had to be there.
It was during a commercial break, which is wild to me.
Yeah, so that was the first like hint. Everybody was like, "Oh, what's going on with this?" That was I know because it seemed intentional. It didn't seem like a mistake. Now, of course, everybody was just like, well, you know, they played White Rabbit thing. Could it be Bray Wyatt? Or it could be Killer Kross or Lucha Underground? Which, I was like, that's a stupid thing to believe. And because Triple H is not going to change Kross's gimmick now to something he wasn't Lucha Underground.
That doesn't make sense.
And not so damn White Rabbit tried. He ain't calling Paul Underbeck for that shit.
Everybody is thinking it's Bray Wyatt.
Yes. Well, I mean, there is more details leading to that now anyway.
Okay. Hit me with the Easter eggs.
So, okay, yeah. So, after that, it was an episode of Raw where Austin Theory was in the back stretching. He was doing an interview segment, but behind him, there was a Q&R code.
Uh-huh.
It's called Q&R code, right?
A QR code?
Thank you, Prime. I was yawning. Yes, a QR code.
QR code, right?
Where you put that extra? It wasn't Q at all.
So it's QR, not a QNR.
QR.
QR code.
Yes.
Okay.
You
Just
making up new stuff.
What can I put and in there?
That was very Black Daddy of you.
What can I put and in there?
You know the thing you're supposed to scan with your phone. Go ahead.
Yeah, that QR code. Well, they had a QR code behind him.
And I'm guessing folks scanned it.
People scanned it, which led to this White Rabbit playing this game of Hangman. And it's like it's great stuff. And
I wish I could see my face. Like,
and
what?
The question was, who killed the world? And you know the answer was you did. And but then there was a thing that came that said 923. So everybody was just like, we're going to find out 923. I was just like, oh, slow down. I think what that means is we're going to get the next code.
Yeah.
Prime still wasn't on board. And
I don't know if I would be either, to be honest with you.
Why not?
Because
okay, go ahead. I'll give.
Listen, I'm just saying, folks' attention span is not as long as it used to be.
Yeah.
You got about one or two of these before people lose interest and be like, I don't care anymore.
I understand that. I think Mr. 225 understands that himself.
Well, he needed to crank it up to 350.
First of all, he put the time. People was like, "Oh my God, it's gonna be on 923 at 923." So when 923 came, there was a commercial.
It was a commercial.
Also, first of all, when I saw all of that, my first thought is if you in Philly and you of a certain age, you remember 923, and I was just like, "What about 923?" Oh, they talking about wrestling. I was upset.
Wow. Okay, so then they had on Smackdown a hit row segment while they was having a party. Behind Top Dollar was another QR code. So when they hit the QR, also before we get to that one, during the Bayley and Alexa Bliss match, the main event. Why was it the main event? I don't know.
Why was I say what?
The lights kind of went dead, and then kind of like the red light came up, and then it went away.
Okay.
And everybody was just like, oh, "What the fuck was that?" Because Damage Control was like, "What was that?" But everybody else no-sold it, and the crowd did not no-sold it, not no-sell it. Come Friday, the other QR code was, they had, you know, like a thing of the White Rabbit going to like this Pac-Man phase, like this puzzle, and there's a little door in the middle, and it's trying to escape these little fireballs, right? Mm-hmm. And then it goes through the door, and then the door has these longitudes to what part of Canada they're gonna be in on Monday, Prime?
I don't know.
Okay.
In Canada, you said?
Yeah, they're going to Canada on Monday. Alberta, Canada, or something.
Alberta?
I don't know if it's Alberta, Canada, or something other Canada, but it's the longitudes and latitudes that point to that location where Raw's going to be at.
Okay.
Which is most likely we're going to get the next clue. Okay, so these things.
So we're playing Blue's Clues. We gotta find the last program.
See y'all.
I'm sorry, I'm getting sleepy.
There is in the Extreme Rules poster. There's like a lantern and flies. It's in the bag and stuff like that. So everybody's just like, okay, look, this is obviously gotta be pointing to Bray Wyatt.
I think it's gonna be hilarious if it gets resolved and it's not any of those things.
There's like, Joe Gacy. I keep telling you, if it's Joe Gacy, I'm gonna laugh.
I am going to crack up if they finally figure it all out and it's not Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Look, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I think it's Bray Wyatt.
I also do think it is, but I just still think it would be funny if it wasn't.
You know,
Bray Wyatt said, I gotta get a check for these children, okay?
In this case, I'm gonna be honest. In this case, I don't think he's necessarily signed it yet, but I think it's leading to him being signed. Like, I think it's probably leading up to, but I don't think he's officially signed yet.
I hope we don't get another one of them red notice egg moments.
No, but I would say, here's the thing. If it was just fucking Joe Gacy, he would have appeared on SmackDown 9/23. Gives a fuck. You know, nobody cares about that. They're building this up to either, I'm thinking, an Extreme Rules return, or even a Halloween Raw, because Halloween's on a Monday this year.
Halloween will make sense.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things, but once again, like you said, that's a whole other month away. So
4 more shows.
Exactly. So, but see, they're doing it on Raw and SmackDown.
Oh, they're doing both. Oh,
yeah.
You finna burn these folks out.
So once again, like you gotta go. People like Easter eggs, and people there are people that break the shit out like they do for a Marvel show. They break the whole thing down. However, they are leading people on, because even after the show on SmackDown, people got back to their cars. They took pictures and put them on social media that they were putting these little White Rabbit poster things on there with the longitudes to the next clue.
Me,
and I'm just like, they are. I'm like, soon as the t-shirt come out,
he said, blow the marketing budget, all of it.
But do it.
Somebody run the Kinko's and make me White Rabbit.
But I do think that I think the White Rabbit is Ramblin' Rabbit. I think it's coming back, and then once again, Triple H is a whole old school.
Bring the Funhouse back.
Look, Triple H is a whole old school. I want Bray Wyatt to change it up, but one thing Triple H is the guy to do is that we're going to finish these storylines. Mm-hmm. That he has brought back and made references to so many stories in the new things he's been doing from 5 years ago. The one thing he got to do is, whether we like it or not, you got to end the show with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, please.
Because it never ended. It never ended. He left, never came, waited a year, got fired. They just put his gimmick on her, and she been doing this whole shit for over a year, and it never got resolved. And then all of a sudden, she went to therapy, and she came back half thought about it, and the next thing you know, she's still not herself.
No, but somebody was tweeting about her. They missed that gimmick, and she was like, "So do I." Probably Probably because she ain't got nothing right now. She's just kind of out blowing the wind.
And I don't think it's going to be a whole Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss reuniting type gimmick, but I think it's something to get her back on track because you have to end it.
Because why is she still carrying around the damn dog?
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what the fuck the whole part of the therapy was? I mean, and obviously now with Triple H doing this stuff, and with Bray Wyatt's creativeness, you can make some really scary shit. He has a really crazy ass creative mind.
Now, I will say, this is probably one of the only, I guess, occasions where I'm going to just wait for Sean Sapp to say something.
I don't want Sean Wall Sapp to say something. It's all done.
Well, you know I'm going to say I'm going to at least wait till it says WWE is in talks with Bray Wyatt, because it's always they're in talks and they show up the day of, you know. So
I mean, it's a possibility, but I'm pretty sure they have
I'm
talked
telling
already.
you, if Bray Wyatt is in talks, we will know if he's in talks. Yes.
But I'm saying they've had meetings already. Because it was a whole thing of talk. Look, Triple H has
That's why I said I don't think it's official yet, but I think it's all but confirmed. That's what I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure Triple H is sitting there. They got about 20 other people that need to come out, and he like, wait your turn. And you know, I think that's what's happening, because this man got so many more surprises. But I think this man is a storyteller.
Yeah, because T-Bar still need to be Dijakovic.
Exactly. I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, if this is the case, there are so many things that, I'm pretty sure Triple H has at least about a good 50% of WrestleMania already written down. He this is what we working to.